What happened?
You heard him. He's here, but you can't see him. He's
Yeah, he's
figurative
our
I'm
imagination.
incognito.
incognito. Yeah. Tonight's
Oh
special
man,
guest, T-Bone, rolling with T-Bone.
So
So
first,
how
I
you
want
doing,
to
guys, I
say
T-Bone?
appreciate y'all inviting me over. I really do.
Well, we had you on that one live that we did that one night, and it was such chaos. You know, just everybody else coming in and out, and I wanted to do a show just with you. So here it
Right.
is.
Yeah. Hey,
Hi, everybody in the
great
chat.
minds think alike.
Right, right. Let me say hi real quick. We got Dallas in there, Steve, Gloria, Shocker, Mythical Rider, which is Lolly.
Lolly,
Hi, Lolly. Fat guy,
Evil
fat
Rick,
guy. DDK, how you doing?
American
America Uncensored
Uncensored,
in the house.
retired writer.
Retired Riders in the house. Frogzilla, good evening. Evil Rick, of course. Greg, hello. Greg also, T-Bone, when you asked earlier, he comes on sometimes to help us out. He's a good
Okay.
filler. But you want to just dive in, or
Oh
because what
yeah.
I want to know is where did you come up with the name Rolling with T-Bone? How long have you been T-Bone?
Oh man, the name T-Bone. I was probably 12 when I got saddled with that name. My dad had a buddy who rode, and then I actually had a cousin named T-Bone Watson, and we would go to T-Bone's house about every weekend, and he had he was kind of like us at that time. He was motorcycle poor. He had bikes everywhere. And of course, with my dad, that's how I got started into bikes, and they used to call me Little T-Bone all the time. So that's it just always kind of stuck.
It's always been there. Okay.
Yeah.
Where exactly are you running out of?
I am in the North Georgia mountains. I am in a place called Blue Ridge, Georgia, right where Tennessee, North Carolina, and Georgia converge.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it
So
was
I get the best
Tennessee
of
or
all three states.
That's cool. Hell yeah. Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was Tennessee you were in or Georgia. Yeah, okay, cool. Rob, do you have anything right now? Of course not.
Do I have anything?
How long's your channel been going, T-Bone?
Hey, you just interrupted me.
You weren't going to say anything anyway.
I'll just referee it.
There you go. Hey, Mike. Doc Harley in the house. Go ahead, T-Bone. I'm sorry.
Yeah. We was talking about where I come from here, where I live, man. We have got some of the most beautiful riding because I could take off literally from my house, and in 20 minutes I could be in either of those states, and then in about an hour and a half I can be in Alabama. So I love riding in the mountains. I mean, that's probably my most favorite place to ride is in the mountains. I don't care too much for flat land at all, but I will ride on it if I have to. I'd rather be in the mountains any day of the week.
I hear you. Yeah, I went to that mobbing in the mountains last year, and I'm going this year. It's killer ride. You got to think about coming up?
Yeah. Well, they've been trying to get me to VAM, and usually when all that cool stuff like that's going on, I work, of course, for the recreation department here, and I've got spring soccer that starts right around the same time all this cool stuff starts beginning. So most of the time I'm booked all the way about 6 days a week. So it's hard for me just to break loose in the springtime, and then it does it again in the fall. So,
right.
But we are putting together a Georgia area meetup, basically a southern version of the VAM. Okay. And it's going to be in May. So I'm going to have some stuff coming on that on my channel here pretty soon. We're going to be trying to get people from, just the local area to meet up, ride, content creators kind of hang out. It'll be me, Blue Bike and Doyle, Ray Gregory will be there. Hopefully the Chestnut Mountain Tin Man and a lot of those great folks. So I've met a lot of cool people here. I really have.
June 18th through the 22nd, mobbing in the mountains.
Yeah.
I'll be there the 20th, 21st, and 22nd. What do you want?
Now, what state is that in?
It's in West Virginia.
It is in West Virginia.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's at Summersville Lake Retreat. It's
Okay.
hell of a place. Hell of a place. Can't wait to go again.
Well, I've got. I actually have Slick from Slickhead Custom Cycles, and of course, So Hippie. They're wanting me to come to their. Last year they got together and did that retreat thing they did. They shot content, went and spent the weekend up in the Smokies.
Yeah, I
So they're
watched that.
wanting me to come to that this year. So I told them I would do my best. I mean, I can't. It's hard for me to make plans like that.
Right.
It really is. I want to go to everything, but you just, what do you have time for? That's kind of what it always comes down to for me is just what do I have time for?
And what do you got vacation for?
Yeah, I got vacation, but I can't never make my vacation line up for anything. I've got 120 hours a year of vacation, and I barely have time to line it up to take it for any good reason.
Right. My stuff this year kind of works out. They just gave me 5 weeks this year. So stuff I got to do for my organizations, that works out very well. How you doing, sick bastard?
Yeah, Dallas
Yeah.
is mentioning Vam there. He's trying to get the Rolling Throttle family to come up there. Yeah, Evil Rick says come down there to Mama in the Mountains.
Yeah. That I tell you, VAM has turned out to be a big deal in the I think I heard I think Moto said it in one of the lives this past week that they were on their 4th or 5th year doing it. So, and it seems to be growing pretty good. So,
I remember a few years ago when they were talking about doing it. So have you been in Georgia most of your life or all your life?
Yeah, I was born in Georgia. Of course, I've lived Tennessee, North Carolina, Florida. I've been all over the place. I've been all the way out to San Diego, back through Texas. But as far as just where I call home, I've always called North Georgia home. As many times as I've left this place, I've always came back to it.
I hear you there. Yeah, myself, I've lived in vaguely in Indiana, barely in Kentucky, and Ohio here, Cincinnati, 99% of my life. So yeah, I know what you mean.
Yep.
Ain't no place
well,
like home.
I did a lot of traveling. I did a lot of traveling when I was on the independent circuit professionally wrestling. For wrestling, I would travel all over the Southeast, and it kind of just got, round about middle, probably the beginning of '97. I was ready to slow down just a little bit. I'd had a pretty bad motorcycle wreck, and I was still trying to recover from that and travel and do everything. And it was time to slow down a little bit. And then I slowed down and got married. So,
all right. So what wrestling federations were you in?
Stupid cat. Sorry.
Oh, let's see. I wrestled with the ECWF.
Okay.
NGWA. I did a lot of work with the NGWA, Danny D's promotion, North Georgia Wrestling Alliance, which was it was a offshoot of Ole Anderson's Georgia Wrestling Alliance.
Frogzilla wants to know
and
what
all
the wrestling name
all
was.
those guys. It was just Terry Dunn. That was my wrestling name. I just went by my real name.
Terry Dunn.
Because we were all trying to get out of the gimmick side, like why do you got to be a plumber? Why do you got to be a garbage man? The most that we went out there as ourselves, and we had more fun like that.
Do you know the dates for Wham by chance or Vam? Wham. It's Behind the Bars wants to know when is Vam? It's coming up in July, isn't it?
Actually, retired rider. Hey, John, when is VAM? I know you're out there. Can you put the dates up for VAM? You or Moto, if Moto's in here, either one of y'all.
Well, I know retired riders in here somewhere.
Yeah, retired riders in here. He says
he better be. If not, he'll never live it down Sunday.
He says he's ready for it. So when is it? Yeah, that's right. You have one of your 3 shows you have going on Sunday.
Yeah, the retired rider. Well, it's the channel's called Political Rider, which John started. He was doing shows about politics, and then the rabbit hole thing kind of came along. Just, one night the conversation would always go to UFOs or Bigfoot, and then John got the bright idea. He reached out to me. He said, "Man, I'm thinking about putting a show on just called The Rabbit Hole." He said, "I want you to host it." He said, "We just go on and we'll talk about whatever." And I'm having a blast with it. It's starting to put up numbers. He's starting to get a lot of subscribers to that channel. And this week we've got a open forum. We're going to just let our viewers come up and tell their encounters and what's happened to them and what they've seen. And I know John's looking forward to that because he don't have to study for anything this week.
Frogzilla's got July 11th, 12th, and 13th for Van.
Yeah, that sounds right. I knew it was in July. I just wasn't sure what the dates were. Yeah, Frog is going to be on Sunday night. He'll be on Sunday night telling his Bigfoot story. He just kind of casually put that in the comments one night, and I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. Did anybody see Froggy's comment?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what he said. I'll be telling my Bigfoot story. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Can't wait. I can't wait. Father Time. Yeah, Doc Rollin.
I'll have to catch that one.
Yeah, yeah.
Because Bigfoot's pretty big around here, especially if you go to Himalayas, you got the abominable snowman, which is their version of Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then Australia, you have the Yowie, which is the Australian version of Bigfoot.
Right.
And then, like I've said, we were talking about earlier, every state in this country, every state in the union has their own version of Bigfoot. And J-Man lives there in Ohio.
Yeah.
And y'all have cryptids coming out y'all's ears. I don't see how y'all don't bump into Bigfoot every time you walk out the back door.
Because they see the city mostly. How's that? July 10th to 13th is Van. Question for you, T-Bone. Have you ever wrestled with wait a minute.
With any wrestling names? No, I haven't.
Okay. I guess he wants you to wrestle some bastard. I don't know. I seen him do
that's what it sounds like.
So.
I got tickled at Salty. Salty was talking about the safety protocol. He's out there in his pajamas and boots and no helmet.
I loved it. Yeah, I loved it. The Yeti, yeah.
Fat Glide.
Just a minute ago, it was filled with whiskey and Coke. I got a Yeti full of something.
Yeah, right.
East Tennessee doesn't have a Bigfoot. East Tennessee has Tweedle.
Tweedle.
That's a good one, Dallas. That's a good one. I don't know if you know Tweedle, but he's a cool guy, man. Fucking everybody's pulling on his cords hard. How many cryptid videos have you got out anyway?
See, I started back in October.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I did it for the entire month of October for Halloween. Well, I've got to be getting close to. I did 5 that month alone. I probably put out 12 or 13.
Okay, and not all on Bigfoot
that's
either,
no, not well. I've covered Bigfoot. I've covered the Mothman. I have covered the Jersey Devil. We've covered the Lizard Man. Just past week, we covered the Lizard Man of South Carolina. I have covered Bigfoot. I've covered the Chupacabra.
Yes,
but that the cryptid things, that's a list you'll never run out of. There's always an episode that can be made about a cryptid because there's, like I said, every state has a cryptid in it, and I've done the Georgia Bigfoot.
Well, are you going to be getting into any paranormal stuff? Because that's another thing that there's a million. You can do a million videos on paranormal.
Yeah, I've had several people asking me about paranormal. Yeah, I've had a million people asking me about paranormal. And I want to say this, I didn't expect when I did the cryptid content, I really didn't expect it to take off like it did. But man, I have got such a positive feedback on that. Now I've got people want me to do paranormal stuff. I've got
the way you tell
people want me to do. yeah, I've got people want me to do UFO stuff. And I don't just go into these stories when I tell them and I do these episodes. I usually try to find some kind of facts linked with it. You know, like the lizard man, I was pulling up Komodo dragons and alligators and, you know, bearded dragons and all these different things, trying to make a
Right.
case for what's being reported. And I think that's what people really like about it. But yeah, I am going to try to do some paranormal and UFO. I'm going to try to do all that stuff if I can.
Well, one thing is you don't stick to one side. You show the one, you show the other, and you kind of show the middle. And that's one thing I like is you don't just show one aspect. You try to show it all.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think if you're trying to tell a story, if you cover it, and that's just like that's what I like to watch. I don't want just to watch, you know, a story about Bigfoot with 20 people hollering, it's Bigfoot, it's Bigfoot, it's Bigfoot. I
Right.
want to see other perspectives and other point of views. That's what entertains me, so that's the way I try to do it, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Right.
it makes a lot of sense.
Now here you got the Norwegian Bigfoot. That's entirely on its own, I tell you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'll
Most
tell
of
you
our
another one
Bigfoot
that's
sightings
entirely.
most of our Bigfoot sightings are up north around the boundary waters.
Yeah, yeah. Alaska and Canada. Whew, their cryptids up there are standalone entities. I mean, you can't really compare their cryptid stories to any other. That's like I'm going to be covering here pretty soon. There is a town that has been it has been completely left. It's called Portlock, Alaska. And there's been 3 different settlements disappeared there. People just walked off and left it because Bigfoot apparently was terrorizing them. And it's a real place. It's called Portlock, Alaska. And that's one I'm actually currently doing some research about. But man, there's a lot of research on that one.
Good. No,
Yeah.
because I really love your show. It's because I'm into that stuff, and it's like, wow, you're doing awesome.
Well, how long
Mothman is one thing I've read up on quite a bit.
Yeah, Mothman is huge. Mothman might be the most popular one on on the eastern seaboard. Everybody loves Mothman.
Yeah. Well, how long have you been doing YouTube in general?
I started YouTubing. I started vlogging before moto vlogging, and I started probably in 2018. I was doing, you know, just random stuff, and then believe it or not, at the end of 2018, it was, you know, couldn't ride. The weather was crappy, so I was just cruising YouTube one day, and this guy popped up on my home screen called Shade Tree Surgeon.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And it was one of his wild riding videos, and I clicked on and I thought, you know what, this guy's got, you know, he's not, of course, back then everything was political. Politics seemed to run everybody's life. And he wasn't political. He didn't have a right wing view. He didn't have a left wing view. He just got out there and talked about riding motorcycles and loving riding motorcycles. And I was like, man, that is so cool to be able to do that. And then I started getting together all the equipment. It took me about a year to get it together, but 2020, I put out my first moto vlog, and man, I've been running wild ever since.
Okay.
Nice.
Quit it, Cat. I'll get with you after the show. Hey, won't leave me alone.
Well, that's the only pussy you're getting.
Yeah, right now at the moment, she's mad at me.
Oh, Lord.
Or I should say the only pussy that's paying you any attention.
Yeah, well, you know how it is.
Well, at the moment.
Yeah, SNET says, yeah, Mothman is an awesome story. Yeah, I've been
Yeah,
following
it
quite
is.
a bit, and like I said, the paranormal ones, they seem to be never-ending content when they go to a vacant house. You know, I mean, come on, guys.
There's a video on my page. I shot it. I want to say I shot it sometime in 23, in the spring of 23. It's called the Chastain House. It's actually one of our local haunted houses here. And it's been on news. People have got some ghost hunters or one of those television shows came and they did a story about it. And yeah, I love anything like that, unexplained, paranormal, ufology, Bigfoots, cryptids of any kind. I got turned on to cryptids by a show you guys probably remember real good, an old show used called Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah.
I used to love the unexplained stories that Robert Stack would tell. And of course, I got exposed to the Loch Ness Monster and Bigfoot and UFOs and aliens, and I just fell in love with all that stuff.
Well, Leonard Nimoy did it for me back when they were doing In Search of.
Yeah. That was a popular show.
Well, you kind of remind me, the way you talk about, how enthused you are about the subject you're talking about, and that's why I like to watch your videos.
Well, I'm glad y'all enjoy them, and just anybody out there who's watching this, now or on replay, I don't just do cryptid content. I do regular moto vlogs too.
Yep.
But if you want to see me get really excited, let me do a cryptid video because I spend more time on them. I'm breaking things down. It's really a subject that I enjoy thoroughly. And I think to make good content of any kind, whether it be motovlog or lives or whatever, you have to have some kind of passion for what you're doing, or it's just, you're going to fail.
Right.
And I did a video this time last year, Christmas. I was actually going to hang my channel up for a little while, and I was going to quit doing anything, and I was going to go back to the drawing board and revamp things. And so I was basically just trying to finish out the year of 23. And I did a video about shade tree surgeon. I don't know what, I was in a rabbit hole of my own, and I thought, it'd be kind of cool to do a little spoof video, exposing shade tree surgeon. Dude, that thing exploded. I started getting subs. That video now has over 50,000 views. And it's just like, that reignited me just to keep going. Right. And then I thought, because used to, if you go to the older content that I would make in October, I would just review horror movies. And I told my wife, I said, I really don't want to do the horror movie thing this year. And I was sitting here and, it just kind of clicked. Well, you love cryptids and you watch cryptid content all the time and you're always studying about things. So why not just try it out on your channel and see if it'll work? And like I said, I wasn't expecting it to go the way it did, but I'm very thankful for it.
Well, you hit a damn good subject, I tell you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And no one else is doing it either.
Yeah, like I said, if anybody out there hasn't checked it out, man, check his cryptid stuff out, and you will check his moto vlogs out because it's he wants to keep you interested, and that's what he does. So I think it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I haven't seen any other cryptids, anybody else do any cryptids except you. And I haven't really gone and looked, but
yeah, there is a million people out there who do them, but they are the high tech ones, you know what I'm saying? Like that's got the $1 million equipment and shit like that. You don't need that to go out and find Bigfoot, do you, T-Bone?
No. And I'll tell you something too about these. There's a lot of channels on YouTube that does do cryptid content, but what I have found in my research is that they all start copying off each other.
Right.
You'll pull up 10 videos on, just say, the Mothman. Well, all 10 videos, they'll say the exact same thing. So they're just all copying off of each other. I try to go around and do something, I try to make it connect, go a full circle and connect. They're just giving you the facts. This was when it happened. This is what happened. And I've always said, I want to make somebody leave that show after they watch my episode. And I want them to ask themselves the question, what if? What if Mothman's real? What if Bigfoot's real? What if the Loch Ness Monster's real? And I think if you got that, if you can draw people in with that, I think you get more. I've had people to comment and tell me, "Hey, we never cared anything about this until we started watching your channel. Now we do our own research."
Right.
So to me, that's just the coolest part of it. That's just one of the coolest things ever, right there.
No, and they say the Loch Ness monster could actually have survived the dinosaur age and to our age because the Loch Ness is deep enough, and there's a lot of underwater caverns and tunnels that it can navigate to and from the ocean.
It'd be a
Oh yeah,
million
yeah,
years old. There's no way it survived from the
Well,
yeah,
dinosaurs.
it'd be more than one,
yeah.
and yeah, it still could. We still could have one, I believe. Although the
Hey,
pictures
Well,
Greg
and that's
wants to
just
know.
like,
Greg
what I
wants to know
believe.
what you're riding when you do those motor vlogs.
oh, Greg, I have a 2003 Fat Boy. I have a 2000 Road King, which the Fat Boy, I call him Big Papa. I have the Road King, I call Jazz, and then I have a 2004 Pro Street Chopper, I call the Joker.
There you go, Greg.
But you never tell what I'm riding on. I got a buddy who's got a motorcycle shop, and he flips bikes all the time. And sometimes I'll just go over to his shop and I'll say, "Give me a bike to ride so I can shoot a video." And there's no telling what you'll see me on sometimes.
Right. Well, see, that's the thing about Shade Tree, man. You never know what he's gonna be riding.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, Josh put out a video Sunday, and I went back and rewatched it. Of course, he began his channel with his Rocket 3, and he's actually given it up to auction off. And that is I know that was a hard decision for him to make, because this whole time he's been talking about, that's my bike, that's the one bike that won't go nowhere. And then to find out he's raffling that off, I know that was a very hard decision for him to come to.
Well, wasn't that the first new bike he purchased or something like that?
Yeah.
I think it was his first brand new bike he ever bought.
Yeah, it was either that one or it was the Multistrada. I can't remember. It was one of those.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah,
I've watched so many.
Yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah, I have watched so many Shade Trees videos. Which the chopper that I have, Joker, it was actually one of the raffle bikes. Flip and the Blue Mule had won it, and it was crazy enough. That is actually the only chopper that he's raffled off that I have bought a raffle ticket for personally. And Flip's starting to have health issues and stuff, and he just messaged me out of the blue one day. He said, "Give me a chance. Here's my phone number. Call when you get a chance. I want to talk to you." And he said, he likes my channel, likes all my stuff. He likes what I do. He said, "I want to give you Joker to shoot content with on your channel." He said, "I'm just going to give it to you." And that floored me, because nobody's ever given me a motorcycle. And how do you think that? How do you thank somebody for giving you especially a cool chopper?
Yeah, that's cool as hell.
So Flip's good people. He's just, he's having a lot of.
Was it called the Joker? The raffle bike?
No, I don't even think it was named. It ended up with the name the Joker because of it's got the purple and green flames, kind of like the Joker's paint colors. And my daughter walked out and she said, "Ooh, Dad, that's the Joker's colors," and it's been the Joker ever since.
That's cool.
It's got the ghost flames.
Sweet.
But it's on my channel. I've ridden it several times on my channel. If y'all want to go try to dig around and find it,
right. I might have to do that.
So I want to know, T-Bone, do you ever get any rallies up my way around the Minnesota area?
Oh no.
No, I sure don't.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Rob, I don't even remember the last time I was in the Twin Cities area.
Well, that apparently too long ago.
Yeah, we were up there, I think. It was in the early... I'd be afraid to even say... We went up there for a show. It was a turn and burn. We went up for a one-night show, turned around, came back.
Okay.
And that's been a long time ago.
Well, if you ever come up this way again, let me know.
No, absolutely, absolutely.
I live right outside Minneapolis, so I can get to almost anywhere within the state pretty decent.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we've got
Greg says,
the Donnie Smith Bike Show. That's
yeah.
what we got at the end of March.
Down here we have, God Almighty, there's shows all over the place down here. Probably the biggest one in our area is when the World of Wheels comes to Chattanooga, Tennessee. They've been coming to Chattanooga for ever since the 70s. And that's
Okay.
always a big show when the World of Wheels comes to Chattanooga. But as far as just bike shows, man, we got bike shows all over the place here.
Yeah, we don't up here. Not here. You know, we got ours. Well, next month we've got Mama tried out in Milwaukee, but I won't go to that one. Not this year.
Yeah.
Well, we've got the oh, damn it. There's an event coming up. Keep going, guys. I'm sorry. I'll get it here in a minute. That's what I'm looking up now. Come on.
Well, Steve, they boast that the Donnie Smith is the biggest swap meet and bike show in the Midwest. That's what they boast. I'm not sure if that's true now anymore.
There
Greg,
is
pictures.
there used to be a show in Atlanta, and this is going back to the 90s. There used to be a show in Atlanta. It only happened just a couple of times. They ended up having a bunch of trouble. Of course, there was headbutting going on, and Atlanta never really recovered from all that. So they were trying at one time around the Atlanta area to get a show up like Daytona or Sturgis or something like that, and it just never really popped off and went anywhere.
Hopefully that's what Mobbing in the Mountain turns into. Mobbing the Mountain. Sorry.
Yeah. There's a couple up in Nashville that happens. I know they just had the Iron Goddess show up in Nashville here just a little while back. I think it's a new show, but I think it's been going on a couple of years now.
Well, yeah, all these all these big rallies started off somewhere. You know, they had to start small.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's what I was talking about here. 10 years. They've been doing this 10 years. Garage Brood motorbike show, and they're having a pinup contest for girls and bike show and vendors. Should be a good time.
Now that's the one that Salty's been touting, ain't it, J-Man?
Yes. Yeah, that's the one that Salty's been talking about. Yeah. Should be pretty cool, but you know, everybody that's on YouTube is watching from around the world, so who knows who's going to be here? Maybe my guys. They might come up. That might be a good place to meet.
I think our meeting, this first Georgia meeting that we're doing of the Doyle wanted to make sure I would make it, so he set it in my town.
There you go.
And I was like, well, you know, but we used to have a show here in Chattanooga called Thunder on the Rock. We used to have that one. We used to have the it was a mud drag show that went for the weekend. And then we've got that one. I'm trying to remember what the name of it is. It's Hippie was talking about it last year. It just happens right here in LJ, Georgia, not more than 20 miles away from where I'm at right now. But I cannot remember what the name of that show is. It's kind of a chopper show.
Right.
But, you know, I think we've been talking a lot here lately, you know, with different people about, you know, motorcycle culture and what's going on with the culture. And I always try to remind these new kids coming in, my son and all these other younger people who are picking up riding, you know, just do your thing. Don't try to get caught up in club culture and all that stuff. Because, I always try to remind everybody motorcycle club culture and motorcycle culture are two totally different animals.
Yes.
They are not the same at all. And, these young guys want to grab bikes and they have delusion of grandeur. And I can tell you right now, I'm not cut out of that 1% mold. I never was. I'm a family man. I just never was cut from that 1% mold. And those guys are a special group of people that can do that. And I know that's not who I am. So,
Right.
I just try to tell these guys, just get your bike, learn how to ride, and just let life take you where it takes you on it. Go from just start with the bike and then go from there. Don't have no delusions of grandeur or anything like that. Just see where it takes you.
Well, now that you bring
Because I
up,
watch.
go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, J Man.
Well, I was
No,
going to
go
say
ahead.
now that you bring up starting, what would you consider a starter bike?
I guess it would be it. If you're just starting out and you've never ridden before, don't go out and buy a 1,000cc motorcycle. If sport bikes is what you like, get a 300 Ninja or a 250 Ninja or even a 500 Ninja. If it's cruiser, look, the Rebel 250. My son has one, the Honda Rebel 250. I just always say find the bike that you're comfortable on, the bike that you feel good riding it. You can handle it pretty good. It's nimble enough. Because there is nothing more detrimental to a rider than sitting on a motorcycle that they're uncomfortable on. Even me, I've been riding ever since I was 9 years old. I was the kid riding around the yard on Dad's motorcycle tank because my dad rode. And, I've always, that kind of goes back to what the old timers used to tell me when I was young, just ride your own ride. And I think finding a motorcycle that you're comfortable on, it may just be a 250, or you may be comfortable sitting on a 550, or
right.
But don't jump on the biggest bike in the yard and then run it up a tree,
right?
Because that's like Hellfighter Steve says, get something that you're not going to mind dropping. That's why I tell these young kids, if you're like, don't go buy a brand new motorcycle. Jump on Facebook Marketplace, buy a used bike, because you're going to drop it. You're going to have mishaps with it, and you don't want to go pay for a $30,000 motorcycle and drop it the next day.
Ride what fits you. Yeah, that's what retired rider said.
Yeah, and that would. Yeah, I would always just say find something that you're comfortable on.
Okay.
And don't try to fit into everybody else's mold. Do you?
No.
Do you?
Ride your own ride, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what you got to do, man. Because if you don't, and you ride, another bike, somebody else's bike, and you're acting like somebody, you're not going to be happy. You're not going to be comfortable, and you're going to be miserable, and you're going to give it up.
For sure.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of like we were in a situation here about 5 years ago. My mechanic, Milkman, you guys have heard me talk about him on my channel. His wife passed away from cancer, and we were doing a memorial ride for her, and I ended up at the back of the pack because I was doing some filming and shooting an episode and doing a memorial thing. So there was this guy, I'm not going to call his name out, but he was supposedly this 40-year-old biker, been riding for 40 years. That dude nearly caused me to go down twice because he was all over the lane. He wouldn't stay staggered right. He would jump on the throttle and then he'd slam on the brakes. He would get too fast and he'd try to slow down real quick. And I'm like, really? Dude, you're supposed to be a veteran out here. So never trust anybody else when they tell you that they know exactly what they're doing. I always fall back and make sure they know what they're doing before I try to ride with them.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, Twofer son just bought a ZX6R. I bet that's
oh yeah.
right?
Jaybird. Another one of my mechanics that works over there with Milkman at Appalachian Mountain Rides. And I would never recommend anybody do this for their first bike. But his first bike was a ZX14, the Busa Killer. It was burned up in a fire. He completely rewired it, put all new plastics on it. And his very first bike was a Kawasaki ZX14. And I would never recommend somebody begin their career on a ZX14.
That's a big bike. Yeah, that's a big bike.
Yeah, that's, and that's what I told him. I said, well, you started on this thing. Now you've got nowhere left to go. Unless you just go backwards from here, you've got nowhere left to go.
For sure. For sure. Yeah. Did your dad ever do wheelies with you on the gas tank?
Oh yeah. He would.
I guess all dads did that.
Yeah, I would slide to the front of the tank, and I would put my feet between the bars. And of course, he had ape hangers, and I would grab onto the ape hangers, and oh yeah, he would stand it up all the time. And he popped wheelies in his trucks when he built them too. He built a Ford F100. Was a 69 model, and he built a 427 Cobra Interceptor and put in it, and it popped wheelies too.
I recommend starting out on dirt. Teaches you how fast to react without dumping it. Oh, when you do
Rick, that's how my son bros. Yeah. Rick's talking about riding on dirt. If you guys check my channel out, you'll see my son TJ. He's riding on dirt in the video that he's talking. He's giving, new pointers, what he's kind of learned in the new. And that video really performed good. TJ did a real good job, and he rides on dirt all the time on a street bike. Which, funny story about that, how I got my first street bike. I was probably 9, 10. And, of course, the neighborhood guys around here, I live out in the boondocks. And they all had dirt bikes. So I would ride their dirt bikes when they came around, yada, yada, yada. So I came in and I told my dad, I said, Dad, I want a dirt bike. And he said, all right, let me think about it. Well, he bought me a XL 350 Honda street bike, 350 XL, put dirt tires on it. And he said, if you can learn how to handle this street bike, on road and off road, he said, then I will consider buying you a dirt bike. So I had to prop up on the back steps to take off on it. I would get it up there, I'd put it in gear, and then I'd jump on it and take off, and I'd ride around all day long. But I'm 47-year-old, and I've never owned a dirt bike. So
yeah, I had a 350 Scrambler Honda. Had the exhaust come up the side of it, and that's had knobby tires on it. Basically, I considered it a what do they call them now? What do they call those bikes? They're
adventure, the ADV bikes, the adventure bikes.
Well, no, they're the mini dirt bike, but you can ride them on the street. What do they call them?
Oh, enduros.
I guess you call them enduro, but
yeah.
But anyway, that's the style it was back then, and I love that bike. 70s Kawasaki, they were fast.
Yeah, I'll tell you, dude, the 70s and 80s Kawasaki's and Hondas and Yamahas were just, dude, you could beat those bikes. I've had 754 choppers. I had 554 cylinders. At one time, me and my dad had 16 motorcycles between us. And out of the 16, 2 of them were Harleys. The rest of them were Hondas. My dad was a big Honda man. He loved Honda.
My dad was a big Honda man, too.
Yeah.
He had his Harleys, but a Honda was number one in his book.
Yeah, we had just a little bit of everything, but my dad would not get rid of a Honda. We had, at one time, we had the 350 that he got for me. We had a 450, we had a 550, we had a 650, we had 2 754s. And then I ended up buying a 900 Honda, and then I bought a 1000 Honda. We had Hondas all over the place.
Right.
But You know, I can't diss Honda. Honda was part of my DNA growing up.
Oh yeah, they run forever. The Honda runs forever.
Yep.
Well, if you
Second
take
cousin
care of
Ray
it.
Ray.
Frogzilla's dad sold Hondas. Yeah, I
Yep.
know. Kelpfire
Her-
actually rode a Grom. Was her for what she rode first.
Dude, those little Groms look like they'd be a blast.
Yep.
They're just so expensive to go out and have fun on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, don't screw up.
Yeah, how you doing?
Right.
I
You
mean,
don't
you
screw up, man.
gotta be like me. You gotta know what you're doing.
Have you ever screwed up there, T-Bone, where you was in the hospital or anything over a motorcycle wreck?
Oh yeah. 1995. I had been to a support club's Christmas party in Cleveland, Tennessee, exactly 50 miles away from where I lived. And it was kind of a New Year Christmas party. It was kind of in between. And about 2 o'clock in the morning, one of the guys came in. He said, "Man, it's starting to snow." So I told a buddy of mine, I said, "I don't want to get trapped down here." I said, "I'm going to jump on my bike and I'm going to head back up the river," because I rode year round. When I first
Right.
met my wife, I didn't even own a car. I rode motorcycles year round. It didn't matter. But I was doing good all the way up the, we got a road here we call the River Road. It runs the length of the Ocoee River. And I met a tanker that was hauling sulfuric acid. He came around the curve, and when he did, his headlights knocked my eyeballs out. And I just went straight through the guardrail, down the 30-foot bank, landed in the river with the motorcycle on top of me. I was riding a 1991 Sturgis my dad had got for me. Totaled the bike, it totaled me, broke all my ribs, broke my jaw in 2 places, split both knees open. So yeah, I've been down hard.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
that was
it's
not fun.
no, yeah.
No,
That one time you go down hard, it negates all the little bumps and drops in the parking
Yeah.
lots.
Yeah, when you go down like that, it's not the same as just falling over at the red light.
Right. Yep. Which I have done
But
both. Fell over
yeah,
at the red light
yeah,
and
dude,
wrecked my
I did the red light
94.
thing here. I started my channel when I started moto vlogging. I had a 1984 FLT Tour Glide, first year Evo. It had the fairing, the bags, the whole 9 yards. We go to Murphy, North Carolina, me and my wife, R1. She's on the back, and we rode to Murphy. Come back, pull up to the red light, and fell over. The handlebars came loose. They
Ooh.
fell all the way forward, and we just fell over. A guy came by riding he was riding one of those Suzuki M109s, and he had a tool bag, and he helped me get my bars back up, and we got them all tightened up, you know. So I've done it both ways. I've done it hard, and I've just fell over.
Yeah. Well, it was a hard night of drinking where I fell over.
No, yeah, right.
But yeah, that's another
I've
bike.
done that too.
Suzuki's are another good bike. I ain't got too much good to
Oh
say
yeah.
about Kawasaki's, but Suzuki's and Hondas and Harleys,
Yeah, I ride a Kawasaki.
You know, I never was a Yamaha man. I never could get into the Yamahas. I've owned a couple of them, but I just never did. I never could get into the Yamahas.
They're decent bikes.
I have
Especially
one,
the-
but I'm not too thrilled about it.
I had a 79 XS 1100. It was a bad bike. I mean, that thing could pull the front tire first, second gear, but I just didn't like it. And I ended up trading it for a Honda. You know, in 80, 81, and 82, Honda built a 10-speed motorcycle. It was a CB 900C, the custom. It was a 10-speed. It had 5 low gears, 5 high gears. So I ended up trading that XS 1100 for that even. And dude, I rode the crap out of that Honda. I loved that Honda.
Did it have a clutch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
It had a 2-speed gear case in it. You could go 5 low gears, you could go 5 high gears. You ever get a chance to look them up? They're cool bikes.
Yeah, I think I've seen it on Cycle Drag before when he was at the Meekum auctions. I do believe.
Yeah.
I'll have to rewatch it, but yeah.
Yeah, I
When
love
you
that
said
bike, dude. That
900,
thing was a blast.
yeah, when you said 900, I remember him doing that on the
Man, I rode the crap
Kawasaki
out of that bike.
Falcons are
That
great
thing was a
bikes.
blast. You know, when I think it was it 2016 or 2017? It might have even been earlier than that when they come out with that new Vaquero, the Kawasaki Vaquero, Vulcan Vaquero, the bagger. Dude, that was a beautiful bike when it first came out.
Hey, T-Bone, that's what I have.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, that's a 1700 then, ain't it? 1700 cc.
Yes, sir.
I dug that bike when
Yeah,
it
but
first
he
came out.
rides it like a grandma.
Somehow I don't believe that.
No, mine's a 2011, the first year they came out.
It's
Okay,
a pretty bike.
2011 was the first year. Okay. You know, that's like the Indian Challenger. You know, I don't know what it was about that bike exactly that tripped my trigger, but there's videos of me talking about it on my channel. And that's just a good looking bike. You know, and I was one of the ones in the beginning who said, you know, Harley better step it up with the Road Glide. But of course they did. I mean, they came through and.
That's the thing. Indian has now come out with their new shit for the Challengers and the Pursuits that's right on top of Road Glide again. You know. So
Yep.
We'll see because this year's Indians just came out.
Yeah. And that's what I was saying about those Challengers when they first came out. You know, from the Cyclops headlight in the Farron to the, you know, they're just a sleek bike. And I said it then. I said Harley better do some major changes to the Road Glide if they're going to stay on top of things, because that Challenger, I think the Challenger set them back on their heels just a little bit. And then Indian did that with the Scout too, the 1150 Bobber. I've ridden one of them on my channel. That little bike will fly.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah, it's not working. I thought.
Oh yeah, Indian.
Your avatar to come up on screen. I started pushing buttons. I better stop before I end up just killing.
You might
the
just end the live, man.
That's what I was just saying. You know, I'll end the stream. We got about 8-9 minutes left.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been an honor having you tonight, man. I did not know.
Oh man, it's been an honor coming on here.
I did not know you were a wrestler.
You didn't know what? Yeah, I did that I started wrestling, and I had cousins that did it, and I had an uncle who was really into independent wrestling, and man, I was getting thrown around. We didn't have the comfort of a wrestling ring when we were being trained. They would literally take an old mattress, put it in the yard, and they would slam you all over that mattress all day long. That's probably why I can't walk good now. To be honest.
Probably. And riding a motorcycle is not very much better.
You know, and that's kind of what I've talked to my kids about, and I would tell any kid, you know what, whether it's been motorcycles or wrestling or, you know, motovlogging, anything I've ever set out to do, I've tried to do it. I've never let, you know, people deter me from doing things. If you've got a dream, man, go for it. You know, the only person stopping you from doing what you want to do at the end of the day is you.
I thought it was Jaden.
You know, I got a cousin. He loves motorcycles. He grew up, he had the whole Harley Davidson toys and cups and shirts and jackets, and I was riding motorcycles while he was buying the memorabilia. And I talked to him about that one time. He's a little older than me. I said, do you ever regret not buying a motorcycle and learning how to ride? He said, every single day. He said, every single day.
Yeah, my brother's the same way. He'll have a bike, but he don't ride it. He'll go to the bar on it, and that's about it. Play pool and go home. He don't do no long rides. He kills me, man. But he's got, you go walk into his house though, it's Harley Davidson everywhere. It's
Oh
like,
yeah,
man,
yeah.
you
That's what my
got a
cousin
brand
is.
new Harley
He's
sitting here in the house. You just, it's
Right.
all over the walls.
right. I
But yeah,
only own two things
he
with the
gets on me
name
about
Harley
putting
Davidson
miles
on
on
them.
my bike. I'm sorry, T-Bone.
No, I was just going to say I've only got two items other than my motorcycles that say Harley Davidson. One is a pair of gloves, and the other one is a hat that I can't even find. To be honest with you, it's buried somewhere in my work truck, but I don't even have the memorabilia.
Right.
Careful, it might
I,
leak.
Yeah, he does.
yeah, I
I've got
don't
a
want
few
to.
things, but not much. I'm not big on their things. This is their colors, but it's Ohio Bike Week.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, it was nice here today, Campfire. It was. We had like 64 degrees here today, and it's supposed to be nice for the next several days.
it's supposed to
And
be
I
50
actually
here
plan on doing some
Friday.
riding.
I'm gonna try and ride Friday. It's supposed to be 50. Of course, I did ride Saturday when it was 20s and 240s. So anyway,
Yeah.
do you ride in the cold a lot?
Oh yeah, yeah. I ride year round. Actually, my last video that I put out of me riding, it was like 44 degrees that day. But I've got all the gear to put on. I've got like freezer suits and all that. Yeah, Dr. Harley. Yeah, absolutely. I've been to one of his lives. Man, that dude right there is wired up and ready to go. I like listening to him, Dr.
Yeah,
Harley.
he'll
He's
be on in
cool.
a bit.
Yeah.
Behind the bars, are you on his show tonight? Or are you just gonna be in the chat with everybody else? Yeah,
Yeah,
if nobody's checked out Behind the Bars yet, man, 859, go check out their channel. They're pretty cool guys. Pretty cool.
yeah,
Here's Doctor.
yeah. I think I went and checked them out. Salty give them a shout out here a few days ago or the other day, and I went and checked them out. Very cool channel.
Okay, you're just gonna
And
be
they're
in the
just
chat.
getting started. It seems like.
Right. Come on, Cat, man. I'll let you out when I'm done. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I ride. I guess the coldest I've ever ridden in is probably about 16, 17 degrees. But I can't do it on my Harleys. Anything below 38 degree, my Harleys will not. They'll protest. They do not like
Yes. Same with my bike.
it.
They don't
Yeah,
like
my
it.
Harleys hate anything below 38 degrees.
Right. Thank both of you for putting that in there for me. Yeah, I ride year round too, but lately it's just been too damn cold to go.
Oh,
I
yeah,
went almost the whole month. I went January 1st out and then didn't ride again until Saturday. So yeah, it was almost the whole
Yeah.
month.
Well, we had snow here, and then we had 2 weeks where it was zero. Because I'm up here where I live at. I'm south. I'm in the south, but I'm in high elevation at the Appalachian Mountains,
Right.
and our weather here is affected by the Cumberland Plateau and the Great Smoky Mountains. Their weather gets pushed right over onto the top of us, so whatever they get, we get. And so if the plateau gets 12 inches of snow, we're probably going to end up getting at least 8 inches of snow at the same time. So
2 for Scoot's been parked since Halloween.
yeah, he had some bad weather really early up there. 2-4 did. He was getting hammered like back in October, November.
Where are you at, retired rider? You're here in Ohio?
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm down here in Cincinnati. Yeah, that's what I said. It's been way too cold to ride.
Yeah, right. Retired rider. He's up there in Ohio. He lives out in the old man land.
But up near Cleveland, probably.
There's a lot of, if you go on YouTube,
Oh, you're
there is a lot
Mason.
of moto bloggers from Ohio.
Fuck, he's right near me, man. We got to get together, dude. You
Well,
ain't
there you
25
go.
minutes away from me, man.
We're 25 minutes, no kidding.
Yeah, we're 25 minutes away from each other. He lives in Mason. I'm 25 minutes away from Mason.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You were born in Cuyahoga Falls, Kelfire, you poor girl.
you know Georgia Hillbilly. He comes to my shows a lot. Georgia Hillbilly. He's 6 minutes away from me. I grew up with his brother going to church. Didn't even realize who he was until he showed up on me one day. He said, "I'm a hillbilly there," and I'm like, "Dude, I've known his family my whole life."
I'm gonna do my best to be there. The Delhi Riders are gonna be there. One of the girls that she's gonna be one of the pinup girls. So yeah, I'll probably be there. That'd be cool if we meet up. Because yeah, I was planning on doing some video too.
Jay, man, I think you're just very excited about that show, aren't you? You've been talking about the pinups every day.
Yeah, right. He has, hasn't he?
Yes, I mean,
hey, you got to show support.
Every time Salty plugs it, he's in the chat. Oh man,
it's gonna be fun. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
It's been that hour, guys.
Down.
If you want to cut it off, we can. If you got anything else, T-Bone.
I'm good. I know y'all want to get over and check out Dr. Harley and see what's going on with him. I appreciate you guys inviting me on. This has been a blast.
Dude,
had a lot of fun.
Like I said, ever since I subscribed to you, I've been wanting to have you on because I love your cryptid shit. And then when you started your moto vlogging about the shade tree, I watched that one and I laughed my ass off. So
yeah, right. Well, just everybody, support all of us individually. J-Man, Shadow, myself, Retired Rider. Me and Retired Rider have a show every Sunday night at 7 p.m. on the Political Rider channel. It's called The Rabbit Hole. Y'all come over and hang out with us. We talk cryptids and everything.
Right.
Yeah. Definitely.
And then my show, Rollin with T-Bone. I usually try to upload a video every Monday night at 7:30. I'll have it a premiere and I'm usually in the chat and we all hang out in the chat and shoot the breeze.
Yeah. I can't wait till this Sunday. It's going to be a great show.
Oh, yeah. We're going to have Frog and Lolly coming up there. And Lolly's she's got Retired Rider tore all to pieces because she's got ghost stories and he hates ghosts. Stories.
Yeah, I was getting that. Are you going to be doing a late show tonight there, Retired Rider? I might stay up tonight. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he is. I think I saw it on the homepage that he's got it scheduled for tonight.
Cool. Okay. Cool.
Well, I think the cops are going down the street. I think Bigfoot was just running down there, man.
Yeah, everybody help Frog and Lolly fight the fuzz. Go to their PayPal account or their merch store. They have all kinds of shirts.
Yeah. And also Sick Bastard also will have his community live tomorrow night. And then Friday night, Ray Gregory will have it. And then, of course, Saturday night, Moto Bomb. So y'all come over and hang out in the chat and give them a hard time. That's what they like. They really like you to give them a hard time.
Yeah. After hours show. Okay.
Yeah. How you doing, Carney?
There's Salty's merch. Hey, how you doing, Carney? You missed it, man.
Yeah, and y'all support Salty Badger too. So Salty does a lot to support every one of us, all of us small creators, and
he's a
Salty is
guy,
the man.
And
yeah,
he does support every one of us, and
yeah. So y'all go check out Salty Badger. Yeah, Salty is awesome. I love Salty. Cool dude.
Sick loves to have a good time, he said.
I can meet Salty at the Donnie Smith Bike Show in March. He lives in Michigan, so hopefully I can meet him. He's had his bikes there this last year, then we had a snowstorm and we missed each other.
Yeah, I know he's been talking. He was saying that he was going to actually try to make it this time. I think he's got it really planned out to get there this year, so I hope it goes good for him.
So same here.
We'll see. I'm sure it'll work out.
Oh yeah.
All right, well.
All right, guys, that's cool for me.
Good. Thanks for being here again. Always a pleasure.
Oh, absolutely.
And back anytime.
yeah, anytime y'all want me to come in and shoot the breeze with you, just let me know, and I'm more than happy to do it. I've had a blast. It's been fun.
Yeah, definitely,
Cool.
man.
Sounds
Definitely.
great. Shadow, you got anything to add before we close it out?
Well, let's see. Tomorrow I'm going to Biker Day at the Capitol here in St. Paul. That's our day to us bikers, motorcyclists get out to the Capitol and let them know some bills and stuff that need to get passed through, or talk about anti-profiling and stuff like that. So that's what I'm doing tomorrow. So hopefully I can get some pictures and come out with a good report on that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Rob will have some announcements here shortly. In about 2-3 weeks, maybe. You'll know for sure.
Oh, if it's what I'm thinking of, I should know by tomorrow.
Oh, okay. So it might be next week then. Cool. All right. We'll look forward to next week, guys, and we appreciate everybody for being here.
Yeah.
Dart, haven't talked to him. I guess he's pulling stubs on us. Who knows? Dark, if you're watching, I'm kidding. We'll see y'all later. Peace, y'all.
All right.